How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the shop. Finally, after almost 3 months, getting to the Ersa I-Con Nano review. So as of today on Amazon.com, this thing is $235. I don't think they have Prime for this, but I think it's free shipping. And with that $235, you get a 1.6 millimeter tip and one collar. If you want more tips, they're in the price range of 12 to about $100. And if you want to be able to hot swap them, you'll need to buy multiple collars. The collars are about $7 or less. To change a hot tip, you can use the silicone pad or a pair of tweezers. I bought the silicone pad off of Amazon for like $6. It's thermoelectronics. If you're using lead-free solder, you can get these green collars to help mark your tip so you don't contaminate any projects. This thing has a micro SD slot on the side here for programming. Has a Moly or a Molox type connector. It's got plenty of strain relief. It ain't coming out of there. It's not going to move. Power is hardwired. And in case anyone's wondered, some people I've seen on other videos were asking if the I-Con Nano was made in Germany, and this one's made in Germany. Power switch on the back. To program this, you're going to need a micro SD card for the side, and you go to the website, download this app. As you can see, you can change the fixed or variable temperature. You got ramp up speeds, standby, shutdown, Celsius, Fahrenheit. It's pretty simple. There are 3 ramp up speeds, 1, 2, 3. 3 being the fastest, meaning it's going to overshoot by tens of degrees. I think 30 or 40 degrees it will overshoot. And number 1 being the slowest for more precision. I personally left mine at the factory settings. I like it to ramp up as fast as possible, and I like to change the heat settings on the fly. If you were counting, you'll notice that it took more than 9 seconds to heat up. The 9 seconds is with the 1.6 millimeter tip. That was the 3.2 millimeter tip. That's why it took a little longer to heat up. The top number is the set temperature. The bottom number is actual. Also, when you notice when I turned it on, there were some numbers there. Those are error codes. In case you have any problems, you can look up those error codes. So here's the stand for the Nano. I think they use this stand on actually most of the I-Con line. Might be wrong. It's a decent little stand. It's light. It's made out of silicone and plastic, and that's replaceable. And of course your brass, steel wool, brass wool, whatever. Comes with 4 of these little tubes, even though it has 6 locations. I'd really like to see them add those other 2 because the cost is negligible. They really need to add that. But it works. Just to give you an idea, there's an old Hacko. So I couldn't stand not to be able to use those 2 little spots for tip holders, so I got some brass rod, and yeah, it works out pretty good. If you want to add the brass rods to the stand so you can have 2 more places for tips, the rod is roughly 2.5 inches long, or 65 millimeters long, 3/32 in diameter, or 2.5 millimeters. Works pretty good. You want to make sure that you don't make the rod so long that it actually bottoms out inside the tip. It's not what you're trying to do. You're just trying to keep it from falling off. Also, a note on the actual holder there, the white part. I thought it was plastic. It's actually ceramic, so it is not going to burn. Looks like they're making custom power cords. That's obviously not an over molded power cord. The cable itself seems to be high quality. It's extremely flexible. Looks like it's a decent cord. The cable for the wand is even more flexible. It's obviously silicone, very high quality. The wand too is extremely light. You're not going to experience a lot of user fatigue with that. It's ergonomic, pencil size. I love it. This is a 3.2 millimeter. I can't seem to find a 3, right? Maybe I don't even have one. A little bit of RA flux. Not sure how thick this copper is, but I'll give you an idea how big the actual little circuit board is. So that kind of, I guess, represent a ground plane. You can see how quickly it just pulled. It's quite easily. This is a much bigger piece right here, and it'll pull it real quick. You can just see it. See it? And it's the temperature set on the station 600. Not too bad, I'd say. Pretty quick, actually. Figure this is a more real-world type test instead of the circuit board. I mean, these planes are quite large. That filter choke is pretty good size. Actually, I mean, if you you know, look at that, that's 5 millimeters. That's almost a 1/4 inch. Watch how quickly this thing liquefies. So, is this like the best soldering station ever? Well, no, it's not. I don't think any soldering station can lay claim to that. For the $200 to $300 price range, it's pretty damn nice, I think. This is an 80-watt soldering station. At least on Amazon, it retails for $235. Tips are $12 to about $100. It's got auto shutdown, auto sleep functions. The Ursa 102 tip line, which is what all the I-Con series use. There's about 45 tips available. I'd really like to see Ursa, you know, add some more surface-mounted type tips, the tunnel, more spatula type things. I don't know this to be certain, but I think in the European market they like to use tweezers more often than specialty tips. I could be wrong about that, but it just seems like that's the way it goes. The main competition in this price range for Ursa is the Hako 951. It's a 75 watt station. Last time I looked on Amazon, it was retailing for $263. Tips are going for 11 to about $102. They've got quite a few tips. They've got 85 tips. So if you're just going on the tip availability, Hako wins hands down. They've just got the most amount of tips. All these in this price range have a sleep and auto shut-off modes. Weller's WT1N is in this, I guess, category. It's a 90-watt station, retailing for $209 from Jensen Tools. It only has 37 tips. The tips are ranging from $8 to $92. The only other one that's in this price range is the Metcal PS900. On Amazon, it's going for $260. Tips start at 11, and they go up over $100. The one thing about this, though, this is the only one that I've mentioned, and the only one in this price range that doesn't have auto sleep modes. So that might be important to someone. Also, this also uses your typical Metcal setup as far as like temperature. You have to get a tip rated for 500 or 600 or 700 or 800 degrees in whatever style and size you want. I'm gonna throw a few other brands and stations out there just for comparisons. Pace, their cheapest soldering station is as far as digital display and thermal temperature control, is the ST50. It's a 90 watt and it goes for $304. Tips are $11 to $75. There's quite a few of those. It also has auto sleep and shut off functions, and you can use a tweezers with that station. Metcal MFR 1100, that's $340. Tips are $11 to $100. Lots of tips there, as you can use a tweezers and a desoldering gun, or power desoldering gun. It also has auto sleep function. JBC, the cheapest JBC is CD-1BE, and that's $485 on Amazon. That's 130 watt station, and JBC has a ton of tips. The next up in the Ursa line is the I-Con 1. It's an 80 watt. It goes for $370, and it uses the 102 type tips. And I only bring those up just to give a comparison. As far as like the $200 to $300 range, there's really only 3 of the big name brand to choose from. One other thing I'd like to mention as far as these soldering stations, if you're looking for more value and bang for your buck, one thing to consider is the Ersa I-Con Pico. It's a 68 watt station. Uses the 102 tips of the Nano auto sleep shutdown function. It's pretty much the exact same thing as the Nano. It's just the heating element in the wand is a little less powerful, and it goes for $155. I mean, that's almost that's over $100 cheaper than the Hako 951. I mean, that's an incredible deal. There again, you only got 45 tips. I say only. I mean, it just depends. It's all relative to what you're doing and what you think you'll be doing in the future. So you might want to consider that if you want to more bang for your buck, like I was saying. Also, that I-Con Pico, it's just like the Nano and just like the 951 and the Weller WT1N and the Metcal and the JBC. It too has a sensor in the tip. So its heat up time, at least according to the website, is still 9 seconds, just like the Nano. The reason why I bring that up is because if you're considering the Hako 888D or the equivalent Weller or even the same price range in the Ursa, the RDS80. I think it's worth saving up an extra $50 to $60 and getting something that has a sensor and a tip. I mean, it's just, the performance is night and day almost. You will thank me. I know not a lot of people can't go up to the 200 and 300 mark. If you can't, then consider the Pico. You'll get almost all the benefits of the $200 to $300 price range for $155. Another reason to consider the Pico at $155, like I said, it uses the 102 tip series, so you have 45 tips available to you. The Hako 888D, I want to say there's 20 something tips available for that, and the Weller there's even less. So you might want to consider tip availability. So yeah, I really like this thing. I can highly recommend it. If you're in the market in this price range, I would totally look at it. Hopefully the market for them will open up a little bit. If you're in the $100 price range, I would highly recommend you save another $55 and get the Pico. You will not regret it. So yeah, if you guys like what you saw here, subscribe, comment, and like my videos. Thanks.